Hello, good afternoon. Today is August 2nd, 2017, and it's going to be a part one because I'm almost at my destination. I hope everyone, let me turn it down. I hope everyone is surviving. We're going to talk about spirituality. Spiritualness, spirit, those types of things, because they've gotten kind of popular lately. I didn't even realize this restaurant. I know I see this restaurant all the time, but I just realized it was here. It's so funny how you see something but you don't really see it. But anyway, so the idea of spirit, especially ideas about enlightenment, ascension, transcendence, evolution, expansion, all those kinds of ideas really taken off. And it's a fascinating subject. Obviously, that's part of the reason why. No, I'm not going to do that. Because there's a scripture in the Bible that I'm going to have to paraphrase it. Basically, the idea is that there is nothing new under the sun. Actually, I don't even think that was paraphrasing. Hey. But, after we've kind of gone around and around and around and around the stuff that's been going around for a while, and we've kind of talked about the same old thing again and again and again and again and again, and regurgitated ideas with a little kind of bit of twist on them. At some point the old stuff feels old and people want the new. And that's natural because we're living beings, and old, stagnant, dead, rotten stuff is just not okay. Am I being too ambiguous? The stuff that fascinated people before, or kept their attention even, kept them distracted, it's like now, it does not have the same effect anymore. And we won't go into the reasons why that might be, because that's a whole other recording. But for whatever reason now, people are becoming more interested in things having to do with not this place. The things also that used to sort of seem to satisfy the human, just, it's coming out now. The people who have gotten to those places of fame, fortune, and that kind of stuff, acquisition. Some of them are saying, you know what, it's good. You see, more and more people are realizing that that's true. And so it's like, okay, so then what? So here we are. And first of all, we want to say that it's a good thing that people are not being duped, at least many people are not any longer, with promises of satisfaction, happiness, with stuff that actually can't deliver on that. So that's a good thing. So we need to acknowledge that first. So, okay, so what's the other side of the coin? Well, what can happen is the ideas that are starting to get more popular, I guess. They've become fodder. Just stuff for conversation. You know, we've talked about this, we've talked about that, we've been here, we've been there, we've done this, we've done that. All right, now what can we talk about now? People have become very educated, have been able to ascertain lots and lots, loads of information about things having to do with beyond, I guess we'll say, something different. We started out saying, quote, spiritual. And so that's what is happening a lot now, is that it's important to learn these things. We need to learn, but it's kind of, this analogy came to me a few minutes ago, which was, a child who learns how to read. And so you have this maybe 4, 5, 6-year-old who's learned how to read, like, oh, grandma, watch this. And they pull out their little book and they start reading it. Like, wow, that's great, Johnny. That's great, Becky, you're reading. And they're so proud of themselves, and they should be. That's quite an achievement. And now all of this possibility is open to them. They don't have to wait for somebody else to come along and read the book to them and bring them on the journey. They can do that themselves. And so that's satisfying for them. And, we share in their joy when we see how happy they are with that. Now, let's take that kid 3 years later. Okay, now Johnny's 9. Okay? And, he's running out in the room talking about, guess what? I can read. Wow, that's great. You told me that. That's really good. And, fast forward a few years later. Johnny's running out again at 12 years old. Let me guess, says Grandma. You can read. You get the point, right? And that's what can happen with this quote, spiritual knowledge or information having, is that we don't want to get stuck in that. That's just the ABCs. That's the basics. That's the building blocks or the foundation. It's not meant to stop there. And yet, so many times we treat it like, other things that we've gotten higher education in. But this is not the same thing. This is not about how much can you know about this, that, and the other thing having to do with spirituality. Because it's kind of, now another analogy is coming to me, and you guys are like, come on, just get to the point. No, I'm going to give this one. So, if you do go to school, maybe you go to a trade school and you learn some trade, well, that's all well and good. And now you're ready to go out and fill out some applications and apply for some jobs in that particular field. And so maybe you do that. Maybe you go out and you fill out applications, but you never get the job. You never get a job, though, even though you're qualified and potential employers are interested and they call you back, and you're so high on that you're able to do the thing so well, and then you never actually put it to use at all. Your head is just like exploding over with all the information. Nobody could know any more about this subject than you. Nobody does. But so what? You see, and that's where we get to with this. At some point, it's meant to be used, and not used in a way like, let me show how spiritual I am, or in a way that you decide to apply it and with the mind. So that's going to be part 2. Okay, so how do we apply the things that we learn? That's the thing, because at some point it becomes silliness. I'm sorry, that's the word that's coming to me. When we can sit and hold this conversation about these things that are not meant to just talk about, and they're not meant to just apply in the way that we do, even with a trade that we learn in school. That was just meant as an illustration, but and it fits to a point. But when we're talking about spirit, that it even goes, it's a bit different. So that's where we'll pick up on part 2. And I'm here, so I'm going to do my thing. Much love to you guys. Bye.